Welcome to the Midwest Happy Hour. We're your hosts, Lacey and Hayley.
Join us for a drink and a chat with a new Midwest small town perspective on topics that will keep you learning, laughing, and growing.
So let's get into it. Cheers! Hi everyone!
Hello!
It's just Mom and Dad. Hayley and Pat introduced themselves as Aunt Lately and Uncle Pat last episode. So I just figured it makes sense to just call us Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
Yep. Well, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining. Today is different, just like last episode was, where it was Hayley and Pat. Now it's Flint and I. Hayley's on vacation. We had stuff to do last week, so just doing what we can this month of April. We did have a plan to, actually record a bunch within 1 week, but then stuff happened, so then we just couldn't. But you have to adapt.
Yeah. So
whether you all like it or not, this is where we are.
I hope I don't disappoint anyone.
I'm sure you won't.
Right.
So let's talk about what we're drinking. Oh, first, let me just say, we did some recording yesterday, but we were only using one mic, and there were just some audio issues, and we weren't really happy with that episode, so we were like, let's just record another one. But last night we were drinking that red wine.
Yeah. I didn't feel great this morning. Something about red wine, it doesn't, I think it's the
even
sugar
after
in
a glass?
Well, I had
2?
Yeah, I think I had 2. But there's that sugar,
Yeah.
I don't know, it messes with something in my blood chemistry. It makes me feel like shit.
Yeah.
Early in the morning.
Yeah. There's this, and all the additives, if you look up what's actually all in wine, it's really crazy. And there's not a lot of regulations of how well they have to clean the grapes before they turn them into wine. So think of all the unorganic grapes that are just being sprayed with Roundup.
Right. Just like a
Yeah, those are just things that I stress about on a daily basis, but it's fine. But yeah, well, the red that we got, it was from Han, H-A-H-N, and it was a cab. And it was really good. We aerated it.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nice. But
just the after effect.
Yeah. Oh, but my point is that, Aveline is a wine brand by Cameron Diaz and someone else, and it's organic, and they don't do added sugar, and they don't do all the BS in it, and it's really good. It's just $30 a bottle. I mean, it goes on sale every once in a while at Fresh Thyme and Benny's.
It's about twice as much as I would normally pay for a bottle.
I know, but that's why I feel like if I were to only drink on the weekends and only take myself down to say a bottle of something, then I would do something like that.
Right.
Because if I am going to drink, I would also want to be conscious of what I'm putting in my body.
Yeah.
The same way. And you don't feel as garbagey the next day.
Mm-hmm. When I was in college, I think the first wine I had was Yellowtail.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, it's from Australia? This shit's awesome.
So good.
A little kangaroo on it.
I know, so funny. And barefoot?
Not long after that, I realized how just awful it makes you feel the next day.
There were some days or not days, but there were some times where Hayley and I would get drunk on some barefoot wine.
Yeah, it's even worse.
And just get drunk. And then she would make, it'd always be at an apartment. Her and I, we never really went out together. When we got together, we either got together at someone's apartment and we just chilled, and that's the best, honestly, because you're at. It's a more of a personal level too.
Right. Yeah, I could see you guys watching Harry Potter and getting a bag of Oreos.
Harry Potter and National Geographic.
And dipping the Oreo in peanut butter or something like that. That seems like something.
No, we wouldn't do that.
No.
However, I mean, we did probably always have ice cream, and then we always had rice and steak.
Okay.
That would be our dinner, always. With a little soy sauce.
That sounds good.
It'd always be the best time. The last time we did that was when I went to her house in Colfax, within the last year, to watch that Harry Potter reunion thing.
And you had steak and rice?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't
It's our
ask you.
go-to.
I didn't ask you what you ate that night.
No. But yeah, it's definitely our go-to.
Who cooked the steak?
Haley is always the cooker.
Is she?
Well, Pat actually cooked this last round, but it's because we were already watching the show.
Mm. You can cook steak. You're pretty good at that.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I'm not too shabby.
Maybe you don't want them to know that, though. So that when you go over there, you don't have to.
Right. I'm also, like, pretty lazy. I'm trying to work myself out of being lazy, but maybe I can get into that when we actually talk about our topic today, which will be about our kids. However, today I'm drinking LaCroix. I'm not going to drink this week because I'm running a half marathon.
Yeah. I wasn't going to drink this week, so today's Monday. And I was going to do Monday through until after the race on Saturday. But just something happened today, and I have a beer in my cup. But I'll just have a couple and call it a night.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow I won't.
Right.
Or Wednesday or
tomorrow.
Thursday. No.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it happens. There are definitely times where I'm like, damn, like a glass of wine just sounds so good. Or like, especially when it gets nice out, I'm like, ooh, a beer would be really nice right now. Or whatever the case may be. But I want to try and break that habit.
It is a habit.
Yeah. It is. It's so bad. And it's so annoying. Like, I wish I found like a replacement to like take away like that edge that I'm looking for from alcohol.
This doesn't do it?
No, because like when you have a glass of wine, you feel like a little bit more like,
yeah,
what a day, right? And
right.
You kind of like reflect on the day, and that kind of like sets you into the evening mood. Is there anything out there that anyone is taking that can be a suggestion to me? Because that would be fantastic. I mean, tea. I guess just finding the right kind of tea. Not like a calming tea, but maybe a different kind of tea.
I know, like I've tried the calming teas, but it's they taste fine, but I don't get like any sort of instant gratification from them.
Yeah, maybe like a CBD thing.
Maybe. Or stronger, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I need to experiment a little bit more with that.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I want to be impaired. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. I just... Mama just needs a little edge, or right edge taken away. Is that like the right phrase?
I think what you're looking for is a little buzz.
Yeah, or no. I don't even know if it... Maybe, yeah, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know. But an alternative would be fantastic. But
Parents of the year over here.
Yeah. But we have that half marathon coming up on Saturday.
We do.
I am nervous for it because I didn't train like I thought I would be training.
You've done just fine.
But I've done okay. Yeah. I haven't done nothing, but I haven't done everything. Like the furthest I've ran so far is 8 miles. I have 5 more to go.
Yeah. You'll be fine. You'll rise to the occasion.
Yeah, I will. And if I have to stop and take a drink of water or whatever, then that's fine. However, I really want this to be like the starting point of like me, of like this health journey that I would really very much so like to be on.
Yeah. Maybe.
I want to be a runner, and it'd be cool to be like maybe a little bit competitive. I've always been like slow as molasses. Like I've never been the quick one, but I can be. I'm a big proponent on you're not always like the person who you've been. You can change. I can be a quick runner.
The brain is very, what is it, plasticity?
Yeah.
It can be rewired.
Yep.
But this kind of leads into kids because there's a lot of things I would want to do that you want to do. But they sort of conflict with the primary goals and responsibilities we have with the kids.
I agree. And I was honestly thinking today about how maybe I'm wrong, that I feel like we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to do a lot of things together. And when one of us is gone, then we feel maybe like slight jealousy that one of the parents are gone, or slight like maybe some sort of way. Because if we really like, when I think about in this case with running, it's nice to run and not have to push a stroller or whatever the case may be and deal with your kids screaming at you while you're trying to run. Like, it'd be nice if, like, we just took turns. Which, I mean, we do a good job of it. But I think maybe we don't do it enough or allow each other to do that enough.
Yeah. Well, I kind of understand what you're saying. Like if I go off to the gym and I'm gone for an hour and a half, I start to feel kind of rushed in the gym because I don't want to like leave you alone with the kids for that long.
Right, and my mindset is that like that's good for you and like that's your thing. So like even though sometimes I do get annoyed, of course I do.
You do?
Well, no. Well, I typically don't.
Okay.
But there are days where it's like maybe Grant is like a little
acting completely
terrorist,
normal for him.
and like it's just one of those days where I need like a little break. Yeah, then that would be nice. But overall, yeah, I don't care because that's your time, and really, we need to make sure we take that for each other so that we can be the best parents that we can be.
You're right.
Because if we're not happy, they're not happy.
That's right. Yeah.
And if we're happy, sometimes they're still not happy.
Indeed.
Oh my goodness. It, like, just kills me having kids. Like, you want to have kids so badly. And it is fantastic in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
But your life drastically changes.
Yeah.
After you have kids. So what do you think for you is like the biggest, like, not obstacle or like biggest change that you feel like you've had to make after having kids where like it's annoying that you had to make that change?
Yeah. Well, like one thing, I don't know if this is a great answer to your question, but like when Grant is like on top of the couch with like some hard object that he's about ready to throw at the freaking wall, and I tell him no, and he looks at me and does it anyway.
Yeah.
Or like just stuff like that. So I just never really understood how much I want to like control a child, like with Eli, our 13-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that ever being an issue. And with Graham, the youngest, he listens quite well.
Oh.
But with Grant, just a blatant disregard for an adult male telling you like what to do, and it's not like I'm telling him to go light the house on fire. Like I'm giving him good advice. Don't throw that at the wall.
I think Graham is really obsessed with you right now.
Yeah.
And
he
listens to you.
Right.
No,
I appreciate
he doesn't
that sort
listen
of
to
thing.
me. I will tell him no, Flint, and he'll look at me
and just give you no respect.
and just do it.
Well,
and
that's
I'm
what the middle one does to me.
Is happening? Like today, for example, they wanted to color with crayons on their little table in there.
Right.
So I set down crayons for them, and there are 2 papers, and I said, "All right, everyone, we're going to color on our paper." And then immediately they turned to the wall and started working on it, and I was like, "No."
Yeah, that drives me insane. And then I tell him not to, and he just does it more. Like,
but it was both of them. It wasn't just Grant. It was both of them. And so I was like, no, on the paper. And so I remove my hands from the crayons. They pick them up, and they go back to the wall. So I grab the crayons, and I say, okay, no more crayons. They hysterically cried. I'm sure you heard this while you were upstairs in your call.
I was on call.
For like 15 minutes because of this.
Right.
And then after the 15 minutes, I said, can I trust you not to color on the wall? And then I gave I said, I'm going to give you 1 crayon this time. Just 1. So I gave 1 to Grant. And then he lost his mind because I didn't give him 20.
Yeah.
And that was
so like to answer your question.
real
like,
fun.
What was your question? Like
the biggest thing that you had to change after having kids.
So like just the bottomless rage that comes when a 3-year-old, this little human, should respect me.
Right.
Listen.
No respect.
Yeah. I mean,
no
I'm
respect at
10
all.
times as big as him, and he just gives me just like no. And
right.
Like, what are you out of your mind? What if I was a psychopath?
Right.
You'd be in real trouble right now.
Right.
So, like, just controlling my emotions that come up when he just disrespects me like that.
Right.
'Cause I really don't have a lot of tolerance for it. But, I mean, I'm not going to I'm not going to get crazy. You just have to swallow.
I know.
I think it's my pride or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ego. I don't know. But I just have to be patient for him to come around. But if he doesn't come around and he's 18,
Ew.
showing me this,
I hope
it's
not.
gonna really interfere with building a relationship.
He's 3, and we were told that 3-year-olds are the worst.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like he's getting there. He's getting to like the point of like really starting to like understand, ask questions, to try to understand. Like he's really starting to piece those together. And also, he's a kid who needs a lot of activity to keep him like occupied and happy. Meaning, like he's got to be climbing things, jumping, doing whatever. So, like for example, today
from morning until night.
Yes, exactly. He seemed to just, like, want to get into the refrigerator for no reason. I knew he was not hungry. And so I said, okay, let's go walk up and down the stairs. So what we did is we walked up the stairs, walked to Eli's bed, hit his door, and then we did 5 squats.
Yeah, I heard that.
Jumped 5 times, would come downstairs, touch the front door, and do 5 squats and 5 jumps.
Right.
And we did that, like, 10 times.
I was on a call, and they were just outside of it. And it sounded like there was like a CrossFit session going on outside. Okay, good. Now keep squatting. Yay! I think there's music playing.
And he loved it.
He did.
He loved it. And so
something.
I feel like that could be a tactic we use whenever he is like having these tantrums or we're trying to like redirect him or no, you don't need 10 things of whatever's in the refrigerator that you don't actually want. Like, just redirect and be like, hey, let's go walk the stairs and, like, do something not really fun, but fun for him.
If there is such thing as a past life, and Grant had one, I think it was a terrible experience for him. Because all he wants is, like, food. That's all he thinks about.
Right, like he was maybe in the depression.
As if he went without it for a long time. The way this...
Yeah, he's always been like that. He's always been a fantastic eater. Like, early on, he ate literally everything and a lot of it. Like, that first 2 years of his life, he was...
Right.
Oh, my gosh. And then after he turned 2, he became picky, but in a weird way where he wants everything and he just wants it in front of him.
Yeah. That's not normal.
No, just towards it. It's crazy. But also, I feel like another piece of Grant that I love so much, and it kind of gives me a better idea of who he is like when we're outside or in like a remote location, he thrives.
He does. He loves it.
He is just in his element.
I love that part.
And living his best life. And so, like, for example... The other day, we went out to a cemetery. Not the first time we've taken our kids out to the cemetery just to walk around. And you can kind of give a background on why we go there. But before you do, like, we went there. I didn't have to worry about him running out into a road. I didn't have to worry about him getting abducted. I didn't have to worry about losing him because we were in a wide open space with just graveyard, like just tombstones.
It's beautiful.
And... just, like, him, like, following you around and you could, like, do your own thing by, like, reading what was on the tombstones and think about things. You didn't have to, like, constantly be watching him.
No, you didn't.
And he was just, like, moseying him along, like, literally living his best life. And I was just watching that scene, and it just made me so happy.
Yeah.
And I just want to give that to him more.
Yeah.
Like,
I would love to.
I need to give this child room to run.
Right.
Because I want him to thrive. When we're inside, that's when he's his worst.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's like a caged animal. Like we have like a feral child.
He for real is feral.
Dude wants out. It was a rough winter.
Yeah.
And like even like the winter, it was just like cold and windy. There wasn't even snow.
No.
Like there was nothing to play with outside.
I got them boots.
Yeah.
Like little snow overalls, like prepared for the snow. And it never was like thick, good snow for them to like run out in.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It was very disappointing.
Yeah.
But yeah, graveyards are the shit. I love them. I love going out to graveyards.
And I didn't know how much I would enjoy it until I met you.
Like of all the ones that we went to, none of them are like in the city proper. Like we always go to the ones like way out in the country.
Yeah.
And so like part of like what you were saying, like, you know, you don't have to worry about a busy road they run out on. They can just go off and explore and just be out in nature. But before that, I loved them because I don't. Well, it's kind of hard to articulate. I'm not even sure why I like them, but I just find them very peaceful. They're always quiet. There's usually mature, old, beautiful trees there, and you could hear the wind blowing in them, and just getting outside of the city. Mm-hmm. And then once you go there enough and you start looking at the different names and dates, you're like, wow, this person died 150 years ago. And here is their tombstone.
Right, it's
and
crazy.
150 years ago, their family was lining around here, like, mourning them and saying prayers or whatever.
Life is so crazy.
So it's just like a history thing, too. I like that, as you know.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's cool because it really puts, like, things into perspective on, like, how quickly we are actually on this earth. Which is so weird. Like, we're not on this earth for very long. It seems that way, and we always seem or feel invincible. Like, death is never, like, coming for us, but it's literally on our back door. Like, it could happen anytime,
sitting
anywhere. Right and, like, even if you live until you're in your 80s, like, I'm 30. Like, that's not that long.
Not even halfway there. But yeah, like, until I guess you're probably 60 or 70, I'm not sure, but up until this point in my life, and it'll probably continue, you just do a good job of forgetting that you'll die one day.
Yeah.
Just think you'll live forever. But the cemetery kind of reminds you that it isn't forever, and that's not a sad thing. It's nothing that depresses me.
No.
It's actually motivating and inspiring. Like, just make
I would
the most
agree
of what
with that.
you got. And so, like, a lot of the problems, like, that I think I have, when you're going to a cemetery and walking around, you sort of put it in a better perspective that is it really a problem?
Exactly.
Like, 10 years from now, is this really going to be a problem? No, it's not.
No.
Yeah, I did, mess up this presentation at work, but 10 years from now, nobody's going to care or remember it.
No, not at all. And it, like, really puts into perspective, at least for me, like, what do I actually want out of this life, and what do I want for my family? What is my role in this one life that I have? And, like, in my head, I just want to be a great mother and a great wife and then, like, a good homemaker. And I know I've said this, like, a million times, but I feel like I'm just starting on, like, really taking on this role in terms of, like, making sure that I'm giving you guys, like, good meals and using clean products and just trying to, like, be as self-sufficient as possible. Like, I am so excited for our garden. Mm-hmm. You were always the garden guy at our old house, and you grew a lot of different varieties, and I always thought that was really cool, but there is something inside of me that is just, like, boiling. Like, I am so excited. I want to get my hands dirty. Yeah. And I want to, like, grow our own food and just, like, eat nutritious things. Not that we don't already, but I think it's cool that you could do it in your backyard and you know how it's actually grown and what's sprayed on it and
who peed on it.
Yeah. And it'll be Flint.
No, Grant. Remember our plane this summer? Mm-hmm. But I'll just say, just to comment real quick on what you're saying, it sounded like you were being, like, kind of critical of yourself, that you're not those things. But I think you do a great job. So.
Well, thank you.
But everybody's their own worst critic, so I wouldn't give yourself too hard of a time.
No, I try to not be so hard on myself, but I also try to keep it real. About, like, how I can improve, but maybe I am a little bit too hard on myself. Like, today was a garbage day.
And you got it out.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling great.
I wanted to put it out, but it was so windy last night, and none of our neighbors had it out. So.
Oh, the trash out.
What are you talking about? Take the trash out?
No, I said I was trashed today.
You were trashed today?
Like, I'm on my
trash?
period.
Oh,
So I just
really?
feel like garbage. I just don't feel well. Like I just wasn't an A+ mom. I gave myself a B for how I was feeling.
It's fine.
But I did take the trash out. Literally, the garbage people pulled past our house, and I was like, oh my gosh, our garbage isn't out. So I wheeled it across the street,
Yeah.
and they picked it up.
I heard them coming, and I was on a call in the middle of a conversation, and I'm like, fuck, because we have in our trash, we had a dead rabbit and some other foul things that I wanted thrown away.
Oh, well, that's suspicious.
Well, like Coda, I cleaned up
Oh,
and put it in that bucket, and
Yeah.
I was like, all right, trash is in 2 days, I'll just throw it in the trash now.
okay.
So if that would have sat,
Oh, God.
it would have
Not
really drove me crazy knowing that
Me
that's in there.
too.
Just
I wouldn't have
decomposing
enjoyed that at
rabbit.
all.
stuff. But anyway, sorry, I think I took you off a tangent. You were going down.
No, I just...
So garden, I want
Well,
that too.
yeah, I just, we were talking about, like, cemeteries and how they put life into perspective and what's actually important.
I
And,
do.
like, I know I have goals in my head for, like, what I want the next year to look, what I want the next 3 years to look, and then what the next 5. I don't so much have anything, like, specific for in 5 years in my goal, like, spot in my brain.
Mhm.
But 3 years, I have, like, a good picture in my head of what I want for, like, myself and for our family. And I know we haven't really talked about goals. We didn't do our goals this year.
I'm not a big goal guy. I never have been, and that's not something I'm proud of. It's just it's just not like kind of in my nature to have like a 3-year goal. Like I really just.
But in my head, I feel like if you're not visualizing it or thinking about it, if you want to reach something, if something's so important to you that you want to obtain it, if you're not thinking about it, or
Well, I guess,
whatever,
like,
it's not
in
like
the
keeping
past-
you on track.
Yeah, like I'm in like my 20s. Like I had goals. I wanted this thing by that day, that thing by that day, and they were all like kind of education, continuing ed based. So I reached those, and like career wise, I have like kind of a loose goal.
Yeah.
But not like a specific. Like I'm gonna stare at this vision board and manifest it into reality. Like that's just not. I guess my worldview. I want to be open to. If the wind blows me in a certain direction that is not what my 3-year vision was, I want to be open to that.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it's just like a philosophical thing. I think there's a lot of value to having a 3-year plan or 5-year plan, but God laughs at all those because
Right. However, I do feel like if we were to talk about a 3-year plan, it could like be specifically for our family. So like maybe we wanted to move in 3 years. Maybe we whatever. Like it's good to have those so that we know like, oh, do we need to save up? Do we need to like make a shift somewhere so that we're able to accomplish that goal by then? Because me and you and I would consider us very impulsive people. Like I'm an impulsive impulsive buyer, impulsive like doer. Well, no, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, impulsive. It sounds like a character weakness, but I don't feel that way.
Well, what's the nice way of saying impulsive? Quick
Maybe
reactors.
I don't know. Like, are you like critiquing yourself saying that you're impulsive?
No,
because I kind of like being impulsive. Like,
yeah, I'm not saying it's
Oh.
bad. I'm
Okay.
just saying like we're impulsive people, so sometimes like we don't really have a long-term plan because we're so like impulsive, and we
Right.
just
I think
move so quickly that way.
The word impulsive just has a negative connotation to it.
To me,
Even
it
though
doesn't.
I'm not denying it's true, but I don't think without like elaborating a little, you're giving yourself justice.
Okay.
But
Well, I don't know. I was just saying that it's good to have goals.
Maybe cut that part out.
No, I won't be. Because it's fine.
Okay. But yeah, no, I think, like, with every couple, like, if we were, like, in lockstep with every bit of, like, mindset and everything, then it'd be weird and we wouldn't grow as people. So
Yeah.
there are differences between you and I. One of them's the whole goal thing. So I think you're more on the right side of it. Like, we should have goals.
Thank you.
But maybe we meet somewhere not in the middle, but just like.
Yeah, we do need to meet somewhere in the middle, because I would like to like spew onto you all of my thoughts and dreams and visions, and I haven't done that with you yet this year, because I mean, the kids literally drain everything out of my soul by the end of the day. So then when 7 o'clock comes, they go to bed, which thank goodness they are fantastic sleepers for the most part.
Yeah, no complaints.
And but I'm dead. 7 o'clock, I'm brushing my teeth, and I'm laying down in bed.
Yeah.
And mindlessly scrolling or watching a show for the next hour, and then I go to bed.
Right.
And I'm too tired to talk about anything. I'm a morning person. I'm a morning talker. If you want the best out of me, it has to be in that setting, because my brain is on a whole different level. I'm excited about things. I'm excited about like what's coming up, what we're doing, plans for the day. And then the sun goes down and I'm like walking in slow motion.
Yeah. Yeah, that is.
Now that's motherhood.
It's a fair recount of how the day goes.
I read this quote the other day, or maybe it was today. I don't even know anymore. But it was like, your kids need you the most when your kids need you the most as soon as you sit down and look comfortable on the couch.
That's so bullshit. That's stupid. That quote is designed to make you feel bad.
No, it's funny. Because anytime you are comfortable, that's when your kids need you.
Okay. I thought it was from somebody with no sense of humor and is like, whenever you think about sitting down, that's when your kids need you.
No, but it's like as soon as you sit down and get comfortable on the couch, that's when they're screaming for you.
Okay.
Which is accurate. It made me laugh a lot.
No, that's very true. Yeah, that is funny. I just took it too serious, I guess.
You did.
I'm on defense too much, I think.
Why do you think that is?
I'm not sure.
What else did we talk about? So I asked people questions on our Instagram today. And so, like, one of the questions was, do you bicker more with your spouse after having kids? Yes or no?
It's gotta be yes, right?
Yes. Only 1 or 2 people said no.
How is that not possible?
I don't know. I would like to ask them.
Having
Obviously,
kids
they know all the
doesn't
secrets.
take away anything to bicker about.
No, it adds.
It
adds. Man. And here's the thing. Sometimes when I'm like bickering at you, I'm not bickering at you because of anything maybe that you did or said or whatever. I'm like getting annoyed or mad because you're the one I can take it out on and feel okay about it.
That's my rule.
But
I mean, I do the same.
Yeah.
I can get short-tempered with you, and it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
I never take it to levels that are bad, but maybe I just am short with you or whatever. But
and I also feel like
I just don't have time for your bullshit sometimes. So.
I feel you. But I feel like thinking like from the very beginning of our relationship to now, of course we've both like matured greatly, but I feel like when we do have arguments or like disagreements, arguments is like a harsher word, disagreements,
sure,
that like the way we communicate to each other about it has gotten better, because previously my way of solving an issue is figuring it out right then and there, and I need responses. I need us to, like, we're sitting down, we're talking through it, and that's that. And you are like, we're not talking about it right now. Like, you need more time. And then, like, maybe an hour or even maybe a day or so later, you'll come around and be like, okay, let's talk about it now. Like, which is good because then you don't say things that you regret and, like, you don't potentially make it, like, more of an issue than what it actually is.
Right.
Which, when sometimes you want to get things solved ASAP, that happens.
Like, we've talked about this before, but, like, with conflict, I think of conflict as, like, a thunderstorm coming over, and you gotta, like, let the thunderstorm pass, and then in the clear day, you can kind of make sense of what happened. But when the storm's going on, I'm not trying to go there, really.
Right.
But,
and
so, yeah, I kind of, like, just get quiet and patient and just wait for the thing to blow over.
Yeah. Which isn't always what I would like to have happen,
I know.
but it is what it. But
I've
done better.
I'm not saying
and I
that's
feel
the
like
way to go. It's
like
just,
because I'm not so pushy anymore, or most of the time with getting things resolved. I feel like that has, like, de-escalated some things that could have gotten like blown out of proportion or whatever the case may be.
Well, like, you were calling yourself lazy. Maybe with age, maybe that's just a lazy side of me. I don't know. Like, I don't have the energy to do this right now. Can we do it later? Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's wisdom.
And I don't know
if it's wisdom or if it's laziness.
And I don't know what's inside of me where I feel like I have to get things
But
solved
it works
as
for
soon
us.
as possible. Well, yeah, because I've realized that is not how I can get to you.
Mm-mm.
Like, if I'm trying to just tell you something and you, like, it's to a point of, like, maybe some contention, then...
I'm trying to think of an example, but go on.
Right, me too, because it's not like this happens very often.
Yeah.
But I feel like then I just back off, like, okay, you actually don't want to talk about it right now.
Right.
I can sense that. I'm moving on.
He's turning the volume up on the TV.
He's looking at his phone again.
There is
so
I got that.
we are done here.
Yeah.
But also...
I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings.
I mean, no, it's just something that I've had to come to, like, understand about, and, like, that's what relationships are about. It's figuring out what do I have to change in order to also help our relationship.
And we're on such a marathon. Like, if we're going to spend the rest of our lives together.
Yes.
Like, I'm not trying to, like, solve the world's problems in a night when I'm tired and, like, fuck, can we just let it go? And tomorrow
we'll hash it out or discuss.
When we got some cool reflection.
Right. One thing that I feel like I've worked on a lot, and I hope that you notice it, is that when I have an issue, or say for example, this is, like, a very lighthearted example, okay?
Thank you.
So, like, your shoes. Yesterday, you had your shoes on in the basement, and I was like, can you take your shoes off in the basement, please? It just grosses me out. The kids are down there playing.
I should have known better.
You wear those shoes in public bathrooms.
You keep saying that as if I'm in public bathrooms.
But, like, you wear them to
they
travel.
They have been in public bathrooms.
Yes, they've been everywhere. You travel in those shoes. And so you wore them downstairs, and I asked you to take them off. And then...
I took them off.
You took them off, you went and did something, came back, and they were on your feet again. And I was just like... Okay. But however, instead of being like, Flint, I asked you to take your shoes off, I try to be more like, hey, please, I already told you, can you please take your shoes off? Or it really bothers me when you wear your shoes downstairs. Right. Like, I am better about when something bothers me, I don't say, well, you're doing this and coming at you in, like, a negative way. I just say, matter of fact, you did this, and it made me feel this way.
Yeah, that's how you approach it.
Right, and I feel like I've done a good job.
If you did the former, example, that wouldn't be good for our relationship. But you don't do it that way.
No, I feel like no.
Blasting my ass, like I don't like that, but you don't do that. So
no, but I'm just saying.
I don't think you ever did that.
I don't know.
Maybe you were feistier, like 5 years ago. I don't remember you being...
Or maybe it's because after having kids, like, I don't want to say, like, I'm more of a dick, because that doesn't really, like, line up with what I'm trying to say. Like, I maybe am more particular about things, or I feel like, and I know you have a lot on your shoulders, but I also feel like I have a lot on my shoulders, and sometimes the weight of that's on my shoulders feels extremely heavy sometimes, so then I get irritated when, like, say, I'm just throwing this out there, like, say I just cleaned the kitchen and then all of a sudden it's dirty again because you did something. Like
what? What did I do in the kitchen?
Cook your eggs and bacon. I don't know.
Okay.
There's grease on the counter.
Okay, that I can get a little sloppy.
Where it's,
I agree.
or like all the cabinet doors are open, or it's like I just feel like I'm continuing to like tidy up after you after I'm trying to like also re-clean our toy rooms, and so like when I feel like that irritation start building up, I feel like my blood boiling, and then I have to but then because I already am feeling just stress throughout the day, and so it just builds up, and I just tell myself in my head, you don't have to be angry at him about it. You just have to tell him how you feel and hope that he hears you to make those changes.
Right.
And like loves you enough to make those changes.
Yeah.
I've listened to a lot of other podcasts about like parenthood and just trying to be more of a team and not like.
Yeah, you have you just have like a quest for like
peace and understanding. I want peace and understanding, and those are like the two biggest words that I feel like you really need.
You just have like this lifelong quest for knowledge, and what are you looking at?
I was just making sure that the battery is still on.
Yeah, I respect that. That's good. You're always trying to continue to grow and learn.
I don't want us just to like
get on like a autopilot.
Yes, like I want our relationship to thrive, and I want our family to thrive. I don't want us just to live every day. Like I want us to be happy and healthy and see the good in every day versus seeing the bad. Like it's so hard to see that really life is in everyday moments. It's in the breakfast time that I have with my kids, that I'm cooking them breakfast. It's the 15 minutes I get with you before you go, upstairs to start working, or it's this time after they go to bed. Like just finding the joy in having these moments, because again, like our life isn't Cabo trips, right? We go to vacation every so often. I don't want to live for those happiness moments. I want to live for happiness moments that I find in every day. Yeah. But I think what I was saying was, like with Grant, it's so hard to remember all of those happy moments that I have with him throughout the day because of the, in total, 15 minutes of tantrum throwings that he's had.
Yeah.
It like overtakes all of those happy moments, and I'm trying to figure out what I can do to like flip that.
Yeah. But as you know, like as he gets older and those tantrums become fewer and far between, there's something in our brains, and I think it's some sort of like procreation mechanism where you forget how terrible they were.
Yeah.
Like on certain days, and all you're left with are good memories. I think that's something about our evolution, so that we keep wanting more children.
Right, which I would hate.
Which I would hate. I would be utterly devastated if you said you were pregnant.
And I know I've said this multiple times, and your family laughs every time because they know your stance.
I'm making it quite clear what my stance is.
I totally get that, and I'm not saying I want another kid. I feel like I am sad that I'm not going to be pregnant anymore. I feel like I didn't really enjoy my last pregnancy with Graham because I had a lot going on. So I just feel like I want to enjoy my pregnancy again, and the more the merrier when we have our homestead and they are helping me out on the farm.
Maybe there's some Kardashian who needs a surrogate. You can enjoy a pregnancy.
No, I could not give that child.
The best of both worlds.
I could not give that child away.
Well, it wouldn't be yours to begin with.
As soon as you feel that baby move inside of you, I don't know how you feel like that.
If it comes out looking like Kim and who else?
Whoever. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I know you're not for it. And definitely there are days where I'm like, heck,
Three's
no,
a good number. We have
heck
3 kids.
No.
Three's good.
Sorry, battery died. Had to re-plug it in. But you were saying that, or trying to think of what would make you change your mind.
About having kids?
Yeah.
Very, very little would do that. But what I was going to say is that if there was a long lost sister or somebody who popped into our lives and they lived with us, and the deal was that they could stay with us and in exchange for watching my kids, being their nanny.
Yeah.
So that's really what it is, because
really just be my helper.
Yeah, just like I couldn't go through like getting another kid at age 3 or 4.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. That's why I go back and forth about that thought process all the time. I mean, obviously, I know based on your opinion, we will not be conceiving a 4th child. However, I like daydream about it.
Do you? Can we take a pause real quick?
Yeah. Well, we're almost done. But
you got to pause anyway, right? I should have got up when you were messing with the battery. What's something else we could get into?
Well, we've already been going for like 50 minutes.
Don't you want to add an hour?
I mean, not necessarily, but...
So, 10 more minutes. Can you talk about our own parents? Just real quick.
Yeah, so I could ask you,
I had 6 kids.
Right.
The fuck did he not? And he wouldn't drink at all. What happened there?
So let's talk about that, because that's interesting. So I'll just say, so you're good with kids at this point, but I mean, could you imagine being your dad who had 6 kids?
Yeah.
So how do you feel like your dad felt? I mean, you only have 3 kids.
Right. And my dad had 6.
6.
Is that what you're saying?
Full time, like all the time.
Right. My dad and my mom had 6.
Yes, yeah.
6. I have 5 siblings, all with the same mom and dad.
Yeah.
Just to be clear. Yeah, and then my mom stayed at home with us, and my dad made like $30,000 a year.
Yeah. He didn't drink. He didn't
never
have
drank,
any.
Never drank at all. I would see him have a margarita at like a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, that was his thing.
Once in a while. That was the only time he was like, yeah, okay, I'll take that. And I asked him one time, like, why don't you like drink? Like, you never drank. You had 6 kids. Like,
right.
How are you not?
Didn't you need something?
How are you not at your wits' end? And like money problems, like I didn't say that to him, but like just you could go on and on about reasons why he would. And he said he never wanted to feel out of control.
I like that though.
I don't feel out of control when I have a beer or two. Like I don't.
I feel I'm looser lipped even after a glass of wine, and sometimes I kind of hate that. I'm an oversharer anyway, and so get a glass of wine in me, and I am like telling you all the things.
Yeah, it's good for a podcast that you send out to the world.
I know.
I wonder what kind of shit you say on here.
No, but I respect that a lot, that he didn't need like a vice like that.
Yeah, I mean that's one reason among many I respect him. But so I'm not sure where we were going with that, but yeah, my dad had 6 kids, and I love my siblings. They're my best friends, and they're some of your best friends too.
Yep.
Love them to death, and I would love to create that for the next generation.
Yeah. But
times are different. Like I said, my mom didn't work, and my dad made $30,000 a year, something like that. I don't know where that number came from, but it wasn't a lot. He was a farmer, hardworking man. Honorable, but like you could somehow make that work back then. I don't think you can do that now.
Yeah.
I mean, I make a little more than 30.
Yeah.
We're just fine, but still, like it's not a cost thing. It's I don't know. It's just times are different.
Yeah.
Like you don't have the village to kind of help
No.
out. And you can't trust people anymore.
I
like
know.
You can't send your kids to the park down the street, even though
No.
Clearwater Park's a quarter mile away. But
Yeah, can't do that.
I wouldn't send Eli and his brothers to that park alone.
No.
And maybe they could get there and be safe, but we wouldn't feel good about it. So, like,
No.
that trust.
Not
thing,
at all.
Let's go.
This is why in my head, one of my 3-year goals is to not be in town anymore. But not be so far away that we're not, like, we can still get what we need to get and do what we need to do. But my dream is just to be able to have a good sized garden, like a pop-up greenhouse, so that we can just grow stuff and be a little bit more self-sufficient than what we are now. I'm not saying we can't be, because we do have like a decent sized yard. However, there's just something about me, and I think it's because I grew up in a small town, like out in the country, where I just had a plethora of room to run and roam and do all the things, and I just want that also for our boys.
Yeah, they would love that.
Yeah, and I feel like it gets out of like this hustle and bustle that even I feel when I'm in Bloomington, which isn't like a huge city, right? It's not like a Chicago or a St. Louis or something like that, but there is still that like buzz of like hustle and bustle, and like you're working at your corporate office and you're stuck in traffic on Veterans. I don't know.
That does happen.
That does happen.
Yeah.
Like there's something about every time that I drive out in the country, I feel very at peace.
Same here.
I feel happy. And when I think about what I want on a daily basis, I want to feel that every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And I would rather live not in like a shit box, but I would do a downgrade of what we're living in now in order to like make those dreams happen, like, and to have like land, because obviously there's give and take. You can't have both unless you want to spend $500,000. Not down for that. Even if I feel like I had like $500,000 to spend on a home, I don't know if I would. Maybe. I guess if the properties.
I didn't think farmhouses go for that much, but what's that?
No, I'm saying if you wanted both, if you wanted a nice ass house with a nice property, that's what you're spending.
Oh, I see.
No. We could find something within our price range that's not.
Yeah.
I can cut that out.
Okay, because I don't know how to respond to that. I agree with you. We were talking about my dad and that sort of thing. And then you were talking about living in the country.
Any last thing?
Yeah, what are like the final thoughts?
That's a good question. Final thoughts are, if you're still listening to the end of this episode, and if you are, thanks a bunch. Just try to find the enjoyment within the chaos of everyday life, especially with your young children, because Lord knows it's chaotic and stressful. Date your spouse. Continue to date your spouse. That's something I feel like we're going to actually start getting better at, especially with this potential babysitter.
Yeah.
And even like if it's just for like an hour, I don't even know. Like,
I need a little more than that.
I know, but like once a week, whether it be like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just sometime where it's just like where we can just be adults and not. Because even when we're trying to have conversation with the kids, Grant interrupts us two words in, and it's so hard to like even just have a conversation with you.
He's going out of his way to be an asshole.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll start talking, and he's just like coming up like screaming.
Yeah.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yep, exactly. But thank you for joining. I know.
Yeah, I hope
I just kind of
wasn't-
made you do this.
It's fine. I just hope I kept the brand intact.
It's fine.
Didn't
Fine.
ruin
We're
anything.
fine. It's all fine. But I did want to say, so we did get a couple affiliate links that if you wanted to check out. So Squarespace, obviously, I'm pretty sure everyone knows what Squarespace is. But if you are interested in creating your own website, if you take a look at ours, I actually created it, and it was really easy and quite fun. I was able to figure out some different tech things with it, but it was super, super simple. So if you're looking for a website to use, you can use Squarespace, and if you use Midwest 10 at checkout for a discount code, that's 10% off, and it's either 10% off your first month, or if you subscribe for the full year, it's 10% off that full year. So there's that. Summer's coming up. If you're looking for some cute clothes, check out Pink Lily. I would go to the link that's in my Instagram page, the Lacey Greil Instagram page. Go to Pink Lily, check out their clothes. They're super inexpensive and super cute, good quality. They have a discount code for 20% off, and that's April 20, and that needs to be used within April, of course. So we're coming up to the end there. So yeah, just wanted to throw those out there. Those are the first 2 discount things that we've ever put on this
That's good.
episode.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
The first of many.
Yep.
I'm sure.
Yep. Cool. Well, thank you. Love
All right. Proud of you, girl. Keep going.
you. Oh, cheers.
I think we fisted you.
Yeah.